Welcome to the Jamly Chick. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight, we have One-Eyed Jack. It is an amazing band that has been around for a long time. I'm going to let them explain further more in this. This band is so awesome, has an amazing, brilliant history. And so let me bring them on. And the way I was introduced to them was by our amazing Kilowave photography, Jamie, as y'all know her in the jam scene. So welcome to the stage, Jamie. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. And then we're going to add Adam to the stage from
Hey, everybody. Nice to meet everybody.
And now we have Rosie to the stage. So
hi.
So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And so let's hear about you guys. Let's hear all about you guys. So Jamie was telling me about y'all, and I was just like, and she was like, this is a band that's been around a long time with the Grateful Dead. And right after Bob Weir passed away, I saw something on your Facebook post, and it was like, thank you, Bob, for putting us in the video. And I was looking and I was watching it, and I was like, holy cow, like these guys have been around before, like not before internet, you know what I'm saying, but have been around and like have been around the block, you know, and know what's going on, know what's happening in the scene, or like are basically the lifeblood of the scene, like are all, you know, all of us people out here, Kilowave, Rosie, Adam, all of us get our inspiration from these guys, and so much has happened. And so like, let's hear about you guys. Like, how did y'all come to be? How did y'all tell us about One-Eyed Jack?
You want to take this one out?
I'll start. So neither me or Rosie are original members. The band started in 1991 in Rutherford, New Jersey. It's like right outside Giant Stadium. So I graduated in 94. All the guys that were the original members graduated in like 89, 90. So I was like a freshman when they were seniors, just thinking they were cool and doing stuff. And then they went on, made their first album, Before Alone, in like 94, 95, I want to say. I might be wrong about the years, don't quote me. And then they went on, so there was the original member that we still have is Gary. He's been there since the beginning. He's the lead guitar player. And, you know, it's just been kind of like a, you know, band of travelers, really. Like they went on for about 8 years. And then I joined in 2000, and they'd already had a new drummer and stuff. So it's always just going along my cat. You know, it's just been people that have been around the band a lot, just kind of take up the roles as people drop out and have to go do other things and stuff. So then they made another album, Sunlight Blue Madness, around 2000. And then we made Keep Your Head in like 2006. And then now it's been 20 years since our last album. So it's been a while since we do have to record, you know, but we've been,
there's been so many lineup changes in the past 20 years. So
yeah. I mean, that's a lot. There's a lot that happens in 20 years, and a lot of people that come in, a lot of things that go on. So that's really cool. So y'all have a show coming up, right?
We do. Yeah, we do.
Tell us about
Capitol Theater. We're going to be playing it's February 28th. Yeah, opening up for Melvin Seals, Jerry Garcia Band. So it's always a good time with those guys.
Always a good time. And I mean, you can't be just anyone to get that type of opener band. Let's just be honest with it. Like, you have to be out there in the scene. And it just like, so y'all have been in the scene since 1991. And like, do you know how many shows around that y'all have done or anything? Or like, or what would be maybe, Rosie, your most memorable show, or what was your favorite show?
My first big show that I played with them had to be at the Starland Ballroom, and we're talking like there's probably a couple thousand people there, and that was my first introduction to what it feels like to have that symbiotic relationship between like what's happening on stage and what's happening in the crowd. But that had to be 05, 06, something like that. Yeah, and that was just mind blowing, and ever since then we've played some pretty amazing places, but that stands out to me because it was my first one.
It's just absolutely amazing. Adam,
yeah, that one I believe we were opening up for Dark Star Orchestra.
Yeah, And that's
Most memorable show.
Oh.
Uh, hmm.
Fun wise,
I would say actually as of late, because we really, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
We played the Wellmont Theater not too long ago with a band called Pink Talking Fish, who do Pink Floyd, Fish, and Talking Heads, like amalgam covers. They're really awesome. And we got the opportunity to open for them. So that was my first theater show, and I had never really played in that environment. So just like going on the stage, and then it was pretty close to sold out, I'm pretty sure. And just that noise you get off the crowd, like when you're in the theater like that, that was probably I remember that the most, probably.
It's just mind blowing. Just like thinking about it, just trying to like live it through y'all's shoes and stuff, and just like hearing that, I'm just like, wow, that's so cool. So, but y'all go from not just like the capital. Y'all do y'all started in the lot. That's how y'all got founded, right? Y'all were a lot band,
Yeah,
right?
that's before I was in the band. So they used to have a bus that they had all the gear in. They would just go to the tailgates a lot of times and just set up. So the one that I saw them first at was at Giant Stadium, because it's like in our backyard from where we live. And they were One Eye Jack at that point. But when they were doing that, the original name of the band, I believe, was Uncle John's Band. And then they were Dark Star for a little while. And then they became One Eye Jack later as like an official name. But yeah, they did that like that lot tailgate scene for quite a while. Because all those guys, strangely enough, like they all got to see the Dead a bunch of times. Our manager, Chris, has seen him by hundreds, like in the hundreds. He was really close friends with Bob Weir. And I actually never got to see them live, ever. Like it's all just been listening to, like Dick Latvala, Dick's Picks, and getting into it that way. And just meeting the fans that are really into it and just seeing like how deep you can get into some of these songs and how much people dig them. That's how I kind of got introduced.
Is that how you guys got involved with the Bob Weir interview that you guys were on?
That was in West Virginia at God, I can never remember, Sunshine Daydream Festival. And at that point, like I think Rat Dog was on that bill. Jimmy Herring were on like the main stage, and me and us and another band called G13 out of Maryland were playing in the barn. And we were just really kind of lucky to get on that bill. That's kind of, I think, where it started with Chris Noe and Bob Weir. Then he did a portrait of him, a painting that's kind of floats around the scene at a lot of the vending spots. If you look up like Chris DeLeo Art Studio, he was the guy that put you in contact with us. Like he did a bunch of portraits of Jerry and Bob, like, and all. They're just really great artwork. And that's how he got involved and just got us kind of in the door. And then that was just fun. Like they were doing a DVD, like somebody was making a DVD and wanted to interview all the bands. So we just got lucky, and just got to chat with the guy for a little while. It was pretty cool.
That's super cool. Doesn't it seem like that's kind of the way it goes? Like, like you're either you get lucky and you get that break, or you don't. And I'm so happy that y'all got that break, because y'all are absolutely amazing. And seeing that, and so Adam, you said that you never got to meet Jerry Garcia, right?
Not just me. I never got to see the Grateful Dead live. Like
Stop it.
yeah, like they played. Like I grew up in Rutherford, like in sight of Giant Stadium, and like summer after summer. Like we get out of church on Sunday, there'd be hippies all over the diners around the area. Just like, and that was when I was like young, like you couldn't go yet. And then I graduated in '94, so I went to the lot the first time in '93 when I think Steve Miller Band opened, and tried to get it. Like walked around trying to miracle in it and everything, and then didn't get one. Did the same thing. No, '94 I left for the military, so I didn't get to go that summer. And then he died in '95, right? So by the time I got back out of the service, Fish was already had taken over, So it was like, all right. So then I went to see Fish. Probably like 65 times or something, like in over a couple of years. I went to all those main festivals like the Lemon Wheel, Great Went, the Hit Festival.
Oh wow.
And that's where I really kind of got back into playing after I got out of the Army. And then guys that I was playing with, the drummer joined One Eye Jack, and then I just kind of followed with him. And then that's how I got in the band right before we made Keep Your Head, which is the album. That's when Rosie joined the band, was around 2006.
That's so cool to hear. Thank you so much for your service, number one, to our country. And thank you for so much that you've done. You've done us more than just one service by having,
Thank you.
By serving our country and then also serving us music-wise, giving us the second service. So thank you very much for that. That's absolutely insane. Rosie, have you seen Grateful Dead? Like, did you get to see Grateful Dead? Did you ever get to meet Jerry Garcia or Bob Weir or anything?
Never met Bobby, never
You're
met
welcome.
Jerry, but yes, thank you, Adam. I wasn't really allowed to go to concerts, you know, kind of had strict parents, but my first show was a Dead show. And that was allowed. And that was in 94. That was in 94 at the Garden. Yeah, my dad, he was great. He's the one that
We met Mickey Hart the one time.
Love Mickey.
Yeah. So yeah, that was allowed. That was allowed.
So you were allowed to go. You're allowed. That's amazing. You're allowed. I had super strict parents too,
Super
and
strict. But yeah, that was it. That was like my first show was the Grateful Dead '94 at the Garden.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick. Y'all, I'm so jealous, y'all. Jamie, what was your first show? Let's just go with it.
I never saw the Dead. I was too young, and I lived in Florida, so
Yeah.
I think the first show I saw was like Sister Hazel in like 1998.
I remember I didn't get to see the Dead. I was too young and stuff. And but then when I did get to go like see what it is now and stuff, is absolutely amazing though, and beautiful, like the way that they've honored and continued going on about it and stuff. And I absolutely love how that they've continued the show, and everyone's been there, you know, and continuing honoring Jerry Garcia and everyone, you know, that still goes on. It's just like literally Bob Weir passed away a couple of weeks ago, but it doesn't seem like he has. I know it will this year, but like right now, because we're just not in festival season. Like by the end of the year, we'll be like, oh my gosh, this is insane. You know, this is so sad. And so, but I'm just so grateful for all the things that were brought to us. And
We did Keep Your Head record, and we toured on that for a little while. Kind of went dormant. People had to get on with some life stuff. People had kids, all that stuff. And then we kind of came back together around 2010, 16. It was a couple of years, like where we just kind of played, we once or twice a year, just kind of kept in contact so we didn't lose total. Was it 2015?
2015, yeah. And then in between, like, we would do solo things like here and there, not together collectively, because everyone's a pretty talented musician in their own right. So, nobody ever really stopped playing, really, even if it was in your living room, we never stopped playing, but I think we got back together in like 2015. Yeah.
How long have you guys had your current lineup?
2015.
Since 2015.
Wow. So
actually, 2015, but then the current lineup with Joe.
Oh yeah, that's not right. We had
and Pete Tonti. That was. There were other additions. I want to say, when did they join? 2020.
Not till this most recent run, really. Like Joe and Pete have only been in the band for probably 3-4 years, something like that.
21, 22.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely as long as I've been taking pictures of you guys. Those two have been in the
band. Like the pandemic kind of changed the lineup again. So it was when we wanted to go back out there post pandemic, that's when Joe and Pete came in.
So the pandemic changed everything. Like little different people came in the folds and different, like in and out the fold. And it's just, but y'all were both in the fold before the pandemic. Y'all have been in it for at least like 11 years and stuff. That's so cool. So remind me again, how did y'all get involved with the Bob Weir? They were just coming around. How did y'all get involved with like the Bob Weir interview and stuff? They were just trying to interview different.
Rosie, I don't think, were you in the band at this point?
Nope, that was right before me. Yeah.
So, like I said, it was at the Sunshine Daydream Festival down in West Virginia. I think we were just on the bill. Like, I don't know if we had like Bob. Like, I don't know if our connection with Bob Weir actually got us that gig. I think we just got on that one, and then when we were there, whatever the name of that DVD is, I always forget. I'm the worst with that. it was just a full DVD of the whole festival. So somewhere along the way, they just wanted to interview everybody. So they caught us, I think, in the afternoon, one of the days, like just sitting around a campsite or something, and we just like kind of impromptu did it. And then through that weekend, though, like I remember we got to get backstage and we saw the Rat Dog set and met Jimmy Herring, which was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
And just hung out, and then that just kind of started us into the festival circuit in a more deeper way than just like the local parties. Like this was more of a big deal. So
Nice.
from then you just got to play that game every summer. You got to try to get on the good ones, and hopefully you wind up on some good parties and stuff like that, and introduce yourself to some new fans. Like try to get away from the home base a little bit.
Yeah, no, you guys get a lot of good festival bills. Like you're always, I know you guys go up to Lake George a lot, and I don't know. Do you guys have anything this summer planned?
We are playing one in July. Big Bertha's something. Weekend at Big Bertha's, I think is the name of it.
I think that's in Delaware, and then we might actually have another one in September.
September for the Carnival of the Arts, which I believe is in Kempton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
So,
a couple festivals. Yeah.
And we haven't announced the rest of the stuff we're going to be doing this summer. I truthfully don't. That's the manager's job. He'll tell us when we got to go where we got to go.
Nice.
And so it just keeps on rolling, kind of steady.
We need to get y'all down south, man.
Yes.
We need to.
That would be fun. I don't think we've ever been down below like Baltimore. It's about as far south as we've gone. So we probably that'd be fun to go down to like. Where are you at? Where are you at?
Okay, so I'm in Mount Airy, which is Mayberry, the Andy Griffith show, the old school, the
That's
old
awesome.
school. Yeah. So I live in Mount Airy, Mayberry, aka Mayberry, but I'm like 3 hours away from Asheville, 2.5 hours away from Asheville.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I went to college and graduated up at Western Carolina University, and just learned this week, y'all, that Nantahala actually has a rainforest in it too. Not just the actual forest, but there's a rainforest, and there are very few, seldom rainforests. So here I am, like looking like a nerd all week, like looking up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have literally been down these waterfalls and stuff. But to come to Asheville and how beautiful it is down here, it's just so gorgeous, and it's just so y'all, just so what.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've never been to Asheville personally.
It's got a really great music scene. It definitely is a little closer to the way it is in the Northeast, I would say, because I used to live in South Carolina for a while. But yeah, there's it's pretty hopping, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. I am in.
All right, sold. We got y'all to North Carolina. Awesome.
I have a couple questions. So who writes a lot of you guys' songs?
Well, we're playing these days. It's a lot of I write most of the music. Rosie writes most of the lyrics, and
I didn't know that.
Gary's got a new one in there. He hasn't written one in a while. He put a song called what is that one, Rosie? The Gary.
I call it Gary's song, but the proper, whenever we're in rehearsal, let's play Gary's song. But it is it's called Back Home, and he actually brought the lyrics and the music to the table, which is pretty amazing. He comes in rarely, but when he does, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, he also wrote the title track off our first record, which is Before Alone. And we'll be doing that for the first time in a long time next Friday at the Capitol. So we're bringing some of the old material back out of cobwebs.
It's a decade old.
Yeah, for the most part with the writing, it's mostly me and Rosie and Gary. Everyone, but when we get in the room, everyone kind of chimes in. No, we don't write. We don't write anybody's parts. Like we kind of have like a core idea and a skeleton of what goes on, and then we just put it in the room, and then whatever comes out of that, is what you hear when we play.
It just amazes me how calm you are about that. I have some bad anxiety. Jamie and I are really good friends. We talk, and I mean, just I think I have more anxiety about making toast than you just sounded about writing a song and the way it goes. And it's just, I just am in such awe. That's so cool. How a lyricist on top of just how do you do it? where does that come from?
The first time I heard a song be born, it blew my mind. Like, it blew my mind. It was with Adam, and we brought it into the rehearsal space. My lyrics, and of course, like Adam was the one that really helped me lyrically kind of condense, because there was a lot of like INGs. Let's get rid of the longer and just make it nice and short, and the ED, not get rid of that, present tense, okay, and fit it here. And then when I heard all the other instruments on top of it, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh my God, like it was amazing. It was amazing to me. It was completely mind blowing. I was speechless to hear a song be born. I had never heard that before, because, whenever I would sing before, I would be like me singing covers with an acoustic guitar player. I'd never been in a band before. So I hear you on the making toast thing. It was like, it was kind of like that. And it's very vulnerable, like, especially in the beginning, bringing something so raw, like these are my innermost thoughts. Like I'm bringing this to a whole bunch of people I just met. But the way that it unfolded is just beautiful. I look forward to it now.
Oh, yeah. That's such a beautiful description, Rosie. That truly, because it's so raw, the emotions that you're bringing to someone, and just to thank you for sharing that, because we don't know what that's like. We just get to hear the other side of it, and I couldn't imagine bringing that in front of others and stuff. Could you, Jamie? I'm so anxious about I couldn't imagine it takes me a year or two being friends with someone before I feel comfortable being like, okay, I'm not having the best. And so it's just so cool how y'all do that for everyone, and how you can find that inner strength. And so what inspired y'all to get into it, or what was your inspiration that got you into, that made you want to do this, or made you want to go this direction?
Well, one thing I'll say, just to get back to the thing with the writing, everybody really does it. It's just a matter if you can kind of focus it. Like if you just think about if you walk around in the daytime and have an idea that just fleets through your head and it's gone. But if you had a journal in your hand or something that you could remember those stupid ideas you have sometimes, because I'm later on in the day this thing before and I can't quite place it. But if you can somehow keep track of that stuff, because it's not like we sit down and write. It's like someone just kind of has an idea and they bring it, and then you just build on it. But someone has to have an idea first, you don't the ideas drive the car, so you can't, if you sit down and try to come up with something, I can't do that. Those are professional songwriters that can do that kind of stuff, like Neil Diamond and shit, you hear about those, from all the old days, in 10 Pan Alley, where they were just all those songwriters just churning out material like that. I don't know what that's about, for us, it's just, you just hopefully can capture some of the stuff that's going on in your head sometimes. And nowadays it's kind of easier because you can kind of record everything you're doing when you're rehearsing and stuff. So you can always just reference back and go, that thing I was doing then, and then take it out and then work on it from there, but it's all just building blocks for the most part. Really the hard part to me sometimes is the lyrics, because you have to have some sort of, theme or something, or else it comes across wishy-washy. So that's kind of a harder task to me.
I hear it's either one way or the other. It's like you either have the lyrics and you don't have the music, or you have the music and you don't have the lyrics, and somehow they come together.
For anytime I've ever written a song, it all comes to me inside of a half hour. If I have to work on it for more than that, there'll be work later, but if I don't have the core principles of it down very fast, then you start overthinking and second guessing what you're doing and stuff. So to me, any song that we play nowadays, they all came very quickly, even with the lyrics. It just kind of comes to you. Especially to me with the writing, because if you're sitting around trying to rhyme words together and stuff, it starts to get tedious, and it's you feel like a hack. So,
that's why I'm just kudos, because the way that y'all can just make it seem and obviously it's meant to be, because you can just see it seamlessly in the way that you taking notes, and the way that it just goes and it comes. It's just a beautiful thing. And when it comes across and stuff, so it's so cool just to hear to hear just normal everyday life things, and that you don't have to be a lyricist, but you can still come up with these things.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You can still
I think everybody's doing that all the time. They're just not keeping track of it, that kind of thing.
I couldn't agree more with you, Adam. I could not agree more with you. Like, I think that people don't give themselves enough credit, and they don't, it's just like, you come up with so many ideas a day and you can do this. I believe in you. And just a lot of people, and this time is hard. And so it's hard for all of us. And so the harder it goes and stuff, but so Rosie, when did you come on with the band? And
I guess 0506, something like that. Yeah, maybe 06.
06. So cool.
We actually saw her playing with a friend of ours at a club called the Underpass in New Jersey.
Oh man, I used to go there.
Yeah,
Right
that's the first place I saw One Eye Jack, when I didn't even know who they were. So
what was my man's name? Bobby Beats or something? What was my man's name? Joe Beats.
Joe Beats.
Joe Beats was like the run. He ran that place. He was a great dude.
Yeah.
And we saw her.
Was cool.
We saw her singing with another band. I remember I just asked her, because we were making the record that at the time, if she wouldn't mind just coming and seeing if she could do background vocals on the record. And then she came to those sessions that we did for Keep Your Head, and then you haven't left since. So
it's showing up.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's so cool to hear the stories of how everything comes together. And it's always the stories that are meant to be are never the stories that we were going in, we were finding this, we were doing this. It just randomly came together and pieced together and just fit together like it should. And y'all are obviously that band that should have fit together like it should, and has been going this many years and still has such it's just, I'm impressed. Being from the South, like, I can't wait to get up there. And I'm like, February 28th. I'm like, that gives me 9 days that I can be up there. That's not too long. I can be up there. It is. So it's just so cool to hear your stories. So have y'all traveled? Have y'all gone to other countries and done tours, or just
never out of the country? We went out to California a couple times and up to Oregon. We did like a little West Coast drive. We've done that twice. That's really cool. Like the scene, we played the Skull and Roses festival at Ventura Raceway, which was just cool. That was just a cool experience regardless. Just being there was awesome. And that was the first time, I think, was Skull and Roses, and the second time was Phil and Friends, I think, was the show. And it was that was obviously he was alive, but yeah, that was another cool experience, and then from there, I think the first time we went to Oregon first and then drove down to LA. And then the second time we went to LA first and drove up to Oregon and played the Wow Hall in, I always forget the name of the town at the college, Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
So we played there. That vibe out there is different, man. It's so much more chill. It's hard to explain. It's just super chill in Oregon, especially. And then even California, California is almost like what you hear. It's like people just laid back, it's just a fun place, everyone's just so relaxed about what they're doing, East Coast tends to be a little hyper tense, when you get out there, everyone's just chilling out there. You just makes you want to be like, man, I could live out here, but then you're there for a little too long and you're like, no, I'm East Coaster, I got to get back to the grind.
You're like ready for a little bit of aggression.
Right.
Like, what's this aggression coming from? You're like, just it's okay, it's not a big thing.
People let it out. They let it out.
Exactly.
They hold it in.
Exactly. So, oh my gosh, this has been so much fun with you guys. I'm so excited. So tell us about your upcoming, we have February 28th at the Capitol, and do y'all have anything else planned right now? Or, because I know y'all probably just know that date. I know you probably don't have a whole list sitting in front of you of different dates.
The ones I can think of, the Capitol next Saturday, God. That's the big deal right now. And then July, we got Big Bertha's Campground. And then in September, the Carnival for the Arts, which is a festival run out in Kempton, which is a good time.
There's a good crowd out there.
Yeah, we were there. I don't know if it's the same time. Was it the same time of year last year, September, when we played there?
I think so.
Something like that, right? It was definitely chilly in the morning. So that's the ones that are the big ones coming up. And then we kind of fill in the gaps along the way. You got to kind of check out our announcements on Facebook, and our YouTube channel is the best place to see any of the material that we have going and stuff.
We have a website too.
So where is your home base? I'm totally doing this interview like completely backwards. Jamie is
All
probably
right.
like, "What are you doing over here, girlfriend?" So what is y'all's home base? So
Just New Jersey is good enough
of
to
the
say.
6 of us, we
Yeah.
live in many different parts of New Jersey along the coast, from probably Sussex County down to Renton. And we're kind of spread out all throughout there.
Oh, I didn't realize so many of you guys were like South Jersey and all that.
Yeah, I think Pete's right around the Trenton area, and I'm in currently Middlesex County. I travel around a lot. That's where I am now, Middlesex County. Drummer is also in Middlesex County. Adam is Sussex, and is that in Sussex County too?
Joe, I believe it's Morris County. Like I live in a town where Action Park was. I don't know if anyone remembers Action Park.
Vernon. I'm never allowed to go.
Yeah. There was a documentary on HBO about it. But yeah, Vernon, New Jersey, there's like skiing here and there's a resort.
Oh yeah, I know Vernon.
Yeah.
That's like really far. That's almost New York.
Yeah, Warwick is like right across. Like I'm so close to Warwick, New York. You know, like so I'm at like if you like New Jersey has like the tip when you look at it on the map. I'm at the tip. You know, like right at the tip of the state. And then like our management's down in Asbury Park. You know, like so that's a drive. You know, so it's everything's a 2-hour drive. You know, for me, but you know, right now the band's kind of centralized in Central Jersey where we rehearse and do all the work. It was founded in East Rutherford, which is
that's Gary.
Yeah.
Gary's Passaic County. Forgot.
Yeah, Gary still lives around that. The original member still lives around that area. You know, so we all the band grew up right looking at Giant Stadium. You know, like for its first 10 years or whatever. So that's like where the band's from originally, and then
That's so cool.
you know.
Yeah. So when I met them, I was up in Hudson County. That's when I met these guys.
That's so cool. That's super cool. You almost, I'm just going to say something dumb, whatever. I'm going to say it. I know
It's me
it's
every
already
day, sister.
With y'all being like right beside the, what is it? What Parkway or not Parkway, sorry, the stadium, what stadium we were close to?
Giant Stadium. Well, it's now MetLife Stadium, but it was Giant Stadium when we were growing up. You know, the Meadowlands.
Maybe y'all should be like One-Eyed Jack with a G. Stadium. I know that. Well, I've been watching too many dad jokes recently. It's not. It's boring. It's just been a winter. You know, we all know, and y'all have had worse than we've had and stuff. Just like
no, I think you guys have had it worse. You guys keep getting hammered. We had like that one weekend, which
we had like one big storm.
But your kids have like been out of school for weeks.
Dude, like literally they have been out of school, dude, for they just went back this week, and this was the first time since December that they were back for like more than 3 days, and we were like, I'm just like, yes, finally they're back. So my life is like, okay, all right, finally you can get to like some normalcy and stuff. So Jamie knows I'm just like bouncing all over the place, just trying to get back to some normalcy and stuff. But I'm super excited to meet you guys. Y'all are awesome. Can't wait to, Jamie, are you going to their show at the Capitol?
Yes. I believe I'm taking pictures for them. So
Yay.
Right on.
Heck yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to make it up soon. So because I can't wait to meet you guys. Like I've been checking y'all out on all the stuff, and I was like, heck yeah, this is awesome. And so it's really cool. I think the coolest thing, and y'all also being like a Grateful Dead type of like jam band, cover band type, is like how that they've gone on for so long and filled in the gaps, you know, when people have gone out and stuff and have not been able to do that y'all have been able to do the same thing, and you know, continue on the beauty of the music and find it and respect and love everyone who's been a part of it.
Right on.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Stupid alarm keeps going. No, it's my medicine alarm. I have epilepsy, so it's like, take your medicine. I'm like, shut up, just shut up.
So how do you do at shows and stuff with the lights and everything? Do you got to watch with that?
So actually the colored lights are just fine with me. It's the white lights. When the white lights get super intense, that's when and usually concerts you have to, it's a level of that you have to buy, and that's considered like a pharmaceutical level. But if you put enough white lights together and you get them going at, you know, the flashing point, it can definitely put me into a seizure. And there was one show that I was at that I was like literally like tossing people out the way because I knew if I didn't get to a spot quickly where I could not see, that it was going to send me into like massive seizures and stuff. And so, but thankfully it's just white lights and it's not colored lights. And so, but other than that, I do just fine with it, you know. Right. And so for all the people, anyone listening that's a lighting director or whatever, be careful with white lights. It's the white lights
on the crowd, not the band.
On the crowd, exactly. On the crowd, yeah.
Well, sometimes you go and like they should put those warnings out like they do for roller coasters before you go in the theater. Sometimes with how crazy it gets, so I could definitely see that being a problem if you're not ready for it.
Yeah,
you know, you go in for some wild strobe effect light show and you're like, just Jesus, you know, like it's a lot. You know, like I can't even go into like big general admission crowds anymore because I'm like a wuss. You know, like it gets too crowded and stuff, and I'm just like, nope, that's not why I came here. Yeah, like I just like try to back out casually to where it's like a little clear. You know, like
you're not a wuss. You just know your comfort level and what you're comfortable with. You know, and that's important for all of us to figure out what makes us the most comfortable at concerts. And like,
what's
okay,
crazy
hey, this is not for me.
It's gone from like back in the day. Like I was more into like, you know, Pearl Jam and like the grunge scene back in the day. You know, like. Yeah, I went through high school at the right time for like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, all that stuff. And I used to go to those shows and just be like, you know, treated like a animal in these places, just, you know, just crowd surfing, getting all over the thing, and just had no problem with it whatsoever. I went to see like Primus at Hammerstein Ballroom, not too like, you know, it's probably now, it's been a couple of years, but I remember going like, all right, let's go into the thing, whatever. We got like halfway down the thing into the theater and it got so hot and people and everything. And you had your beer. Like, I was like, how did I ever do this ever? You know, I was like, excuse me, you turn around like, excuse me, just to get back to the bar.
It closed.
Yeah. Right.
I have to definitely love the band, and you know, it's a decision when I'm going into a show. Like, am I gonna go down there where I know I'm gonna be hot as can be, that there's not gonna be anything, or is a band that I like, that I'm cool with just being back here in the seats and stuff? Because you never know. Like certain times I want to get crazy. I want to go. I want to have the most fun. I want to enjoy the show just as much as everyone else does. You know, but sometimes I'm like, I just want to have fun, but not that crazy. I don't want to go that crazy.
I remember one time we went to see Fish at Merriweather, you know, in Maryland, whatever. Younger, you know, and we got all juiced up in there, and we all stood on this incline of a hill on the lawn because it was a good spot. It was the dumbest thing ever. It was like we all sat there for like hours, just like all pitched on this piece of grass, like. This is awesome. It's like, no, it's not. You know, like go back there and sit down and relax. You know, like what are you doing? You know, like it just doesn't make. You think back to some of the nuts stuff that went on at some of these shows. You know, and it's just like, yeah, I can't do that shit no more, man. Like, give me a chair and the cooler, and it's cool. I can hear it. You know, like it's definitely that. It's crazy.
Exactly. Well, thank y'all so much for coming on with us tonight. I'm so thankful that y'all came on with us. I'm so excited about y'all's show and to hear about y'all's show coming up and stuff. And Jamie, you'll have to share some photos with us and everything.
The big point for the band is the best place to see who's in the band now and the modern version of it is on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of like good videos on there and stuff. That's what you'll see if you come out to the show. That's who's playing. You know, like that is what's on our YouTube channel.
Thank you so much for having us. This was fun.
Thanks for coming out, and thanks to Alexius for hosting.
I guess we'll definitely see you at the taking pictures at the Cap.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Are you gonna be? Did Chris hook you up with the backstage stuff and all that?
Hopefully,
shit?
Maybe. He said I would be on the list, but
we'll sort you out. You'll be so you can get pre-show shots and stuff if you get there.
That would be really cool. Like definitely.
Right on.
Yeah.
Because about
to hang out a little bit.
that was the big draw of the show too. Like Robert Randolph is playing with Melvin
Yeah.
Seals and JGB, like the whole set. You know, like so
Dang. Yeah, no.
with the
Hopefully, I was
special
thinking,
guest.
hopefully, it would be nice if one of them came out with you guys.
Yeah.
All that
Planting
stuff,
the
all that
seed.
stuff is so mysterious to me. How any of that stuff happens, you know? Like it all seems to happen on the day if it happens at all. So you know, you can't know. But we'll see. That'd be fun. We played with Robert Randolph, God, 15 years ago or something. Like when he first started, we played a show and he opened for us at the Stanhope House.
Wow, he opened for you guys.
He was supposed to headline, but I think they wanted to get out of there. So they were like, you guys mind if we go on first? They were like, yeah, whatever. Like we were all the way out,
Dang.
you know, wherever, Stanhope, New Jersey. They're from like
Oh
New,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
no, I've been to the
New
Stanhope
Brunswick.
House, another sadly closed venue.
Yeah.
They closed?
I think they. I mean, I might be wrong. I think they did.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so many venues of. I'm sure we could do a whole podcast about New Jersey venues that have
Right.
closed.
Honestly,
Defunct
we
New
should-
Jersey venues.
So many good places that have closed that are not like after COVID and stuff. It's insane. Like looking at the places that were open pre-COVID versus post-COVID. And I recognize this when I was going to watch we were going to a goose show and stuff, and we were going down, and I love to stop in Savannah when I go to Florida. And all these restaurants that were on the waterfront, y'all, that y'all would think would still be there, gone after
Wow.
COVID. And I was like, what in the world? So everything changes. It's not, you got to enjoy it while it's there. It's insane.
Yeah, for sure.
But thank you guys so much. Y'all have been so awesome. And you can't say it like break a leg. Is that what you say when you go on stage? Break a leg.
I think that's more like the theater.
Maybe don't break a leg.
Yeah, don't break a leg. I'm
Maybe
like,
break
I
a
don't wanna-
fingernail or something.
I'm always like, why is that the thing that they say, but not good luck? But I don't know. You know, we need to look that up. I need to look that up. That's just my curiosity.
Crush it is always
Yeah,
a
crush
good
it.
one.
Crush it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks.
Crush it. That's it. Y'all are amazing.
Cool stuff.
I'll see you next week, Jamie.
Yeah, we'll see you next weekend.
Right on.
Thanks, y'all.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See
Have
ya.
a good one.